If you have not watched part 1, the link is in the description. You need to watch that first. This story only makes sense if you know what came before. For nearly 70 years, the Indian government kept thousands of files on Subhas Chandra Bose classified, hidden from the public, about a man who had been dead for 7 decades. What information about a dead man requires 70 years of secrecy? In January 2016, Prime Minister Modi declassified 100 secret files for the first time, comprising over 16,600 pages of documents ranging from British Raj era records to as late as 2013. Among the revelations, documents suggested that a letter written by Nehru termed Netaji a war criminal, one of India's greatest freedom fighters, called a war criminal by India's first Prime Minister. The declassified Shah Nawaz Committee files revealed testimony buried for over 6 decades, including accounts of Congress leadership's behavior toward Bose that painted a deeply troubling picture. But here is what the files also revealed. The Indian government had been actively surveilling Bose's own family for decades after his alleged death. You do not surveil a dead man's family for 20 years unless you believe that man might still be alive. The most credible alternative theory is that Bose did not die in Taiwan, but escaped to the Soviet Union. Bose had long sought Soviet support for India's freedom struggle. Stalin had reasons to protect him from British and American forces during the emerging Cold War. Classified correspondence between the Indian embassy in Moscow and the Russian Foreign Ministry has been released, showing official exchanges about the whereabouts of Netaji. Multiple witnesses, including Indian prisoners of war held in Siberian camps, reported seeing a man matching Bose's description in Soviet custody in the late 1940s. The Soviet government denied it. The Indian government never pressed the matter. Why would India not press Russia harder on the question of whether its own greatest freedom fighter was alive and imprisoned in Siberia? Unless the answer was something the Indian government did not want confirmed. And then there is Gumnami Baba. In 1985, a mysterious Hindu ascetic died in Faizabad, Uttar Pradesh. He had lived in complete secrecy for years, always behind curtains, never allowing anyone to see his face. When his belongings were opened after his death, among them were German military binoculars dating to World War II, a British-made Empire Corona typewriter, a family portrait, and photographs of Netaji's own parents. Why would a random Indian holy man have World War II German military equipment and photographs of Netaji's parents? The man was fluent in Bengali, English, and Hindi, the exact three languages Netaji spoke. He had an encyclopedic knowledge of World War II strategy and politics. Multiple people who had personally known Bose identified this man as Netaji. The Central Forensic Science Laboratory conducted a DNA test on his teeth. The government commission cited this test to say he was not Bose. But when an RTI query was filed, the CFSL confirmed the DNA report exists but refused to hand it over, citing national security provisions. A DNA test result about a holy man's identity, classified under national security. Why? 3 government commissions, 2 contradictory conclusions, 70 years of classified files, a DNA report that exists but cannot be seen, a family surveilled for decades after his death, ashes in Japan that do not belong to him. Subhas Chandra Bose gave everything for India's freedom. He built armies, he crossed oceans, he defied empires, and India responded by classifying the truth about his death for 70 years. Whatever happened on August 18, 1945, the full truth has never been told, and the people who know it have decided that India is not ready to hear it. If this story made you angry, good. It should. Please subscribe and hit the bell. Every week on Buried Chronicles, we tell the stories that powerful people would rather you never heard. See you next week.